Hey everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about renting versus buying a home. I will specifically be telling you what to do in pretty much any given situation. I'm going to be going over everything regarding renting versus buying, so let's get right into the video. I have this paper here and this marker to sort of help me explain everything to you. Now, you basically have two options when it comes to getting a place to live. You can rent or you can buy. When you rent a place, you're going to be paying a monthly fee and you're not going to own it, okay? You pay that monthly fee to use it. When you buy a home, on the other hand, you're going to put an initial investment into it, which will be your down payment, and then you're going to pay another monthly fee, which is your mortgage payment. And that mortgage payment goes towards owning the home. So with renting, you pay for something that you will never own, okay? But with buying, you pay for something that you will own once it has been paid off. However, with renting, there are very few responsibilities. With buying, there are much more responsibilities. So, first of all, financially, let's go over this. When does it make sense to buy a home? Well, first and foremost, you have to look at where you live and the real estate market and whether the prices of houses seem like they're going to be going up or down. And you have to make a prediction about that. And there's no way to really know the future, but you can look at what the trend is and you can sort of make your own professional judgment. Where I live, which is Toronto, Ontario in Canada, the houses have been going up for many years, and what I think is that they're going to continue going up. So I can keep that in mind when looking at buying a house where I live. But it might be different where you live. You got to look at the stats. But here's the easiest way to think about it financially, whether or not it makes sense for you, okay? If you can figure out a down payment that will be enough to create a mortgage payment that is the same or less than what you would pay in rent, then it makes sense to buy a home for the most part. Let me give you an example. Let's say I was renting a home, so I'm going to be renting, I'll put it on this side, rent. I'm renting a home and I'm paying $2,100 a month. Okay? So $2,100 a month in rent is what I'm spending, okay? But let's say I've saved, so I'm going to put buy on this side. I've saved a down payment of $100,000, okay? And if I put that $100,000 down payment on a house, the mortgage will be $2,050 a month, okay? So if I take my 100 grand that I have, put it as a down payment, I get a mortgage of $2,050 a month, right? Or if I don't touch that down payment, I could just rent the place for $2,100 a month. In this case, I would, for the most part, usually makes sense to use that down payment and get a mortgage that is roughly equal to your rent payment, because then you can own a property, and lots of properties will appreciate. Like I said, you have to look at your local area. Now, there's another part of this, which is that, yes, you can invest that $100,000. But you have to determine whether or not you're actually going to invest it, because I've met lots of people who say they're going to save their down payment and invest it, and they end up getting $6 coffees every day and their down payment is gone. So the idea is that you have to make sure you're actually going to hold true to your word. As a rule of thumb, when it comes to renting versus buying a home, if you can figure out how to save up enough of a down payment to get a mortgage payment that is equal to or less than what you would pay in rent, then it usually makes sense to buy, okay? Because then at least you're paying the same thing monthly either way. However, with one of those options, you get to own the actual property at the end of it, as opposed to never owning it when you rent. So that's the first thing. Now, there's another part of it, which is that there are what we like to call unrecoverable costs, they're referred to as, which is basically costs that when you put into the home, you're not going to get back. So for instance, okay, you mow the lawn every week at your house, okay? The gas that you put in that lawnmower to mow the lawn, that is an unrecoverable cost. You're never going to get that back, okay? The amount of money that you pay to heat your home or to air condition your home, to cool it, you're never going to get that money back. That is not an asset. It's money that is used for the purpose because you own the home. So you have to also maybe consider adding those in to what you're paying per month, because those are costs that are usually you won't have to pay when you rent. For the most part, you're not really going to be paying for mowing the lawn when you're renting the home. Usually the landlord is responsible for that. Every contract is different, but I'm talking about most of the time. Whereas when you own your own home, yes, the maintenance and the repairs are all on you. So you might want to incorporate that into your monthly consideration as well. Now, there is a time when it makes sense to rent a home, which is basically when you're in a very short-term situation or you don't know what's going on. So for instance, let's say you're going to school. There's no point in buying a home if you're in university or college because you're only going to be living there for a few years, hopefully. So with that being said, then it makes sense to rent, okay? If you were on a short working situation, a short-term work permit, you're going somewhere for 2 years to work there, there's really no point in buying a home because you're going to probably be gone in 2 years, right? Or if you don't know where you want to live, you're new to the city, you don't know where you want to live, you don't exactly know what are the better areas and not so good areas, and with all the other factors that go into where you want to live, then it makes sense to maybe rent a place for a year, see if you like it, and then if you like it there, you can buy a home in the same area. So there's a lot of factors that go into consideration, but really the main thing is that financially, if you are paying the same amount as a mortgage payment that you would pay in rent, and you do that through putting a sizable down payment, then it makes sense usually to buy a home because then you get to own it at the end for roughly the same monthly cost. However, you should also try to consider the other monthly costs that are involved with owning a home, like maintaining it, repairing it, and so forth, property taxes and so forth, and incorporate those into your monthly payment. And if you can get it with all of those extra costs as well, if you can still get your mortgage payment to be equal to or less than what you would pay in rent, then it pretty much entirely makes sense almost all the time to buy a home. Now, all of this being said, I'm not a financial planner. I have nothing to do with finances, actually. I just really like researching it. So when you make a decision, that's all entirely on you. I am by no means advising you on what to do. I'm just giving you my knowledge on the situation where I live. And you can take that knowledge and use it however you want to, but remember, I'm not advising you for anything, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not recommending to you what to do. I'm kind of just telling you my opinion on the matter, and then you can take my opinion and you can take it or leave it. You can use it or you can forget about it. That's up to you. That's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.